We've got something really special lined up for you. We are living in a world always connected, where attention is currency, content shapes culture, and the digital experience is redefining the automotive retail. What better way to understand this shift than through a dynamic and authentic conversation with credible South African creators who influence us on it every day. Please meet our panel, leading voices representing the Gen X, Gen Y, and Gen Z, each with audiences in the hundreds of thousands, honestly. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage Chad Jones, Nicole Kappa, Tebogo Moropa, Sibongile Mafu, and Kumbi Mchakazi. And guiding this powerful discussion is Philippa McCann-Davies, the CEO of People Have Influence and a respected authority at the intersection of brands, creators, and culture. Ladies and gentlemen, let's discover what it truly makes to move customers from a smartphone to your showroom. Please give them a big round of applause.
Alrighty. Hello, everybody. It is fabulous to be here. We are incredibly grateful, and I think sitting alongside a dynamic group of creators, we look forward to having this conversation. I am not going to lie. I've spoken on global stages before, overseas, at summits, but never at an automotive conference. So this is the first, and so I would love to start off with a shout out to Nada for putting this together, for allowing us to come forward and have this honest discussion today. Because I'm not going to lie, I think the word influencer might have a little bit of a negative stigma attached to it. And that's okay. Sometimes people think influencer, influenza, bit of a flu. But at the end of the day, that is where your consumers and where your buyers are sitting. They're sitting online. And so I think even to this day, I'm still trying to explain to my parents what it is that I do for a living. But at the end of the day, the modern buyer compared to the traditional buyer, there's been an evolution. They're arriving at a showroom with just as much, if not more information than they believe a dealer has. They're looking online at reviews, at different comparative testimonials. They're researching through their friends, through their family, but through their communities. And so what we're going to unpack today is not to share with you how to become an influencer. I'm not an influencer, nor do I want to become one. My job as an agency is like the human version of Tinder. I work with brands and connect brands with influencers and finding the right people. And so what we're going to unpack today, though, is an incredible discussion with amazing creators. I mean, the combined following on the stage is 5 million, excluding myself, obviously. And so with a diverse range in location, in following size, in their own age, as well as the age of their demographics that follow them. So I'm going to go through with a few little introductions, starting from left to right. And I think what's quite cool is that we've got some advanced technology here today, which I think will be really great to enable us to allow you to fully immerse into these worlds. The guys are not being rude by having their phones on their laps. They actually are going to be live stream sharing and sharing their screens with you, so that when I'm asking them, okay, show me a piece of content that did perform really well and why, they can actually show you live on the screen here today. So I'm going to go through some introductions and kind of put you on the spot to say, get ready to broadcast your pages. And to kickstart us off, even get your QR codes ready. If you guys would like to actually follow the individual creators on the panel today, you can actually get out your phone and scan the QR codes that they share on the screen right now whilst I do their introductions. So to kickstart us off, on my left, we've got Chad Jones, a South African entrepreneur, digital creator, and content creator known for simplifying tech, AI, and online businesses for the creator economy. He is based in Johannesburg with 4.8 million followers specifically across TikTok and Instagram. His work sits at the intersection, please start broadcasting, let's get that up. His work sits at the intersection of entertainment and education. So yes, you're going to maybe see Chad dancing in front of a car, on a car, around a car, and it's going to get millions of views. And so this is Chad's profile over here. This is him. Share a little QR code there if anyone does want to give it a little follow, whether it be on TikTok or on Instagram. And I'm definitely very interested, and we'll get into it, Chad, to know what are some of your best pieces of content and why.
For sure, 100%.
Alrighty. Please also share your other platform, and I'm going to jump over to Nicole Kappa. So Nicole Kappa, you might kill me for saying this, but some of you might recognize her from Survivor South Africa. She was a finalist, as well as Mrs. South Africa. But more recently, Nicole worked at Humans.ai, which is an AI tech platform that essentially allows you to source-vet profile content creators and manage your campaigns from start to finish. So Nicole's going to bring a different kind of perception to the stage today, where she's been on the intersection of brands, the back end, the tracking, the ROI, what are brands looking for when it comes to finding and working with the right creator. And more recently, as in 6 weeks ago, I would say, has just moved to be the CMO of Cars.coza, one of the sponsors here today. So welcome, Nicole. Next up, we've got Teboho, a Joburg-based software engineer by day and automotive storyteller by night. You would have seen him vlogging throughout this entire day, so you might be in a piece of his content. But he brings a really beautiful, fresh perspective to the local car scene. You'll see him reviewing cars, giving a lot of detail. Majority of his audience is also male-focused as well, so he is tapping into a younger Joburg market. And the way you film content, Teboho, is dynamic. When I say storytelling at its finest. And it's not necessarily about having millions of followers at the same time. So we've got diversity in terms of tiers of creators right here on the stage. But I think for me, the thing I love most about your content is that it's both technical, it's insightful, and it's authentic, which makes it relatable.
I need to put this on my CV. That was amazing.
Welcome to Teboho.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Next up, we've got Sibongile Mafu, otherwise known as Sibs. For those of you who listen to the KFM Breakfast Show with Darren Sherlin and Sibs.
Hello, Joburg.
That's Sibs right here. She's a media personality, a broadcaster, and a digital content creator known for her work in radio, but essentially an amazing, authentic storyteller online, whether it be on TikTok or on Instagram. I know more recently, and I won't lie, actually, when I contacted Sibs, I'm like, we're doing this panel discussion at an automotive conference. She's like, are you sure? Are you sure you want me on the panel? And I said, yes, absolutely, because Sibs actually went on a journey to find a car and filmed her whole experience authentically on her TikTok platform and created a series. And the audience that follows Sibs, so fun fact, if you're a female, you'll normally have majority males following you and vice versa. But Sibs has a majority female audience following her. Like Kumbi would have majority male audience following him as well. And it really, a lot of women were really intrigued by the process that you went through. And so I look forward to unpacking that today on the stage. Last but not least, we have Kumbi. Welcome, Kumbi. He's a Joburg-based automotive content creator and software engineer by profession. So obviously, Teboho and Kumbi, both in the world of software. And through his platforms, he shares honest car reviews. So a lot of intricate detail with regards to mileage, with regards to fuel consumption and price points. And so a very different dynamic type of content. So I also look forward to hearing and seeing some of your best performing content and why. So guys, that's our panel. Give him a warm round of welcome. Okay, so to kickstart us off, I think, as I mentioned, today's buyer is not like the traditional buyer. They are looking online. And I think what I really want to unpack today with each and every one of you is you've each got different unique styles of content on different platforms, but I'd really love you to show what is a really good piece of content that performed really well, achieved that ROI that I know a lot of you in the room are looking for, and more importantly, to explain why. Chaddy, do you want to kickstart us off?
Yeah, why not? I'm sitting here. First of all, hi everybody, and thank you to Nada and Yufi for swiping, is it left or right, on brand Tinder for acceptance. But yeah, let me get straight into it. So I'm kind of known for dancing, but I've slowly over the years, I think I've been like 5 years in the industry, so I'm still like a spring chicken. So I've been known for dancing, and my content slowly turned into lifestyle. So now people follow me not only for my dance moves, and my family, of course, but for like what I do in my life, I guess. But yeah, so also I'm an ambassador for VW. So a lot of the automotive work I do is for VW. And I think this video got 21.4 million views.
I pull out, how na bani. I pull out, how na kara. I pull out, how na sasa. I pull out, how na
Let me skip to the dance. There we go. I actually don't really like watching myself dance, but
And just to clarify, that's 21.4 million views, unboosted,
Yeah.
no paid behind. That is completely organic.
Yeah. So all the videos that I've pinned up here is to show you guys, it's all organic views. It hasn't been boosted or anything by the brand. But when VW came to me, they were like, yeah, we don't want the adverty stuff. We just want to be seen. So, I mean, that's my job, I guess, to be seen. I'm getting all these views. So these 3 videos are actually different. So the one is obviously me by myself. The one, this incorporates family. So I knew that it was kind of strategic as well, because you know the Tiguan is a family car. So yeah, I got my Toppy and Tunny to bust some moves there for you guys.
I'm your mom's biggest fan.
And then I played around with also duplicating myself. So 80% of South Africa think I have a twin brother, in which I don't. So there's a lot of people who keep asking me where my twin brother is and all of that. But yeah, it's not necessarily selling the car, but more of it being seen, because amongst the thousands of comments that people calling me Sheen and yeah, go Timu or Jackie Chan or Jet Li, upon the thousands of those comments, there are the comments that are like, oh, this car is so nice. I'm thinking of getting me one of these cars. Which model is that? What car is this? So, I mean, it does catch the eyes of viewers who are interested in cars or looking to purchase cars. So, I mean, but like this, it is authentic. I mean, the brand as well, there are campaigns where it's going to be a lot of promoting a certain vehicle, and you must mention the specs and this or that, but I think organically,
It performs better.
yeah, it performs way better. You get, and I think you told me to ask about how many views I got in total. I think, well, I went to go ask the agency, and last year, I think I generated personally, as one of the ambassadors, just over 51 million views for them.
Wow.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah, in 2025.
No, that's amazing, Chad. Thank you for sharing. So if you do land up being in the back of one of his videos, just make sure there's no spinach in your teeth, guys.
Make
Could
sure
be
you can
reaching
dance,
millions.
you know what I mean?
Alrighty, I'm actually going to jump over to Sibs.
Okay.
I would love you to also share the journey that I spoke of. You went to authentically go and find and look for a car. And I mean, that just was your own personal journey. No one had sponsored, no one had branded it. And all of a sudden, you had this mass following of women wanting to go along this journey. Talk to me about it.
Yeah. Influencers don't get everything for free, guys. Sometimes you got to shop for cars. And it's a journey that I'd put off for about 2 years because I I love public transport, so I use the bus. I walk a lot in Cape Town. But my life has changed significantly over the last 2 years. I'm an auntie now. I do a lot of long road trips with friends. I like to visit my parents in PE, so I need a car. And so I pulled the trigger this year, and I decided January was the best time to do this. Not only buy a car, but also share on social media. It's really the time of year when people are looking to reset their lives, they're setting goals.
New year, new me.
New year, new me, new house, new car, new money, you know? And so that was the energy I came with, knowing that my audience was also in that headspace. And I decided to make it a series over the course of January. I shared most of it on TikTok, my car shopping 2026 journey, and this is how I introduced the series. New year, new car, let's go car shopping. I'm going to use the next couple of days to visit car dealerships, test drive some, sit in some. I move with heart first, so it's going to be a little bit like dating as I search for my new car. If the heart leads me to a specific car, that'll be the one. Pull up in my Ford or Audi. Let's go have a look at the Q3. I started at Audi. Shout out to Audi if you're in the room. And I also kind of featured different brands throughout the course of the month. Mazda. And this time I made my way to Mazda because I wanted to have a look at the Mazda CX-5. I need more South Africans to keep a close eye on Mazda because they are doing some really interesting things. Mazda is that contestant on Survivor that you underestimate in the first couple of weeks, and then you look up and you see that they're in the final two and have a good chance of winning. She's good, Nicole. Telling you, don't underestimate Mazda. So I do a lot of vlog style content. Come spend the day with me, come shopping with me. And, you know, this style is what I'm known for. But for me, it was a journey of discovery as well. Yes, I'd done my research on all the brands, but I was also in a space of curiosity. I was open to new information and kind of was excited about being surprised by brands, you know, that perhaps that I wasn't familiar with. So I took my audience along with me. And what I found with South Africans in particular, they love a story, they love a series, they love wanting to come back to something. So every day people are like, which car? Where are we going today? You know, go to VW, go to Cherry, go to this. And so the passion and the emotion that a series like this elicits it's amazing. And I knew content like this was popular, but I think you really kind of tap into the style. I mean, the vlogging style of being able to show people, share your personality, be playful, be fun, because I believe social media is a bit of an ecosystem and we all plug into various parts of that ecosystem. And, you know, for, you know, people like Chad being able to share fun, family-style dancing content, reviewers, car journalists. I'm a lifestyle creator. I lean more into how a car works in my life and how it activates joy, connection, and experiences. So that's where I fit in. I may not be a car content creator, but I use a car every day and I incorporate that into my content. And so this was kind of a setup into, you know, possibly more series to come involving my car, but incorporating it into, you know, the life that I live. And I find that that will keep people coming back. And also, it allows an audience like mine, which is 90% women, who, yes, they do their research, but they also want to see how something fits into their lives. What problem does it solve? And I was very clear with my criteria. I said in my first video that I'm an auntie, I live in the city, I want a sexy, sporty car. I don't necessarily care about like fuel consumption. I have disposable income, let's spend. So I came in with that mindset. And so people then were able to know upfront kind of the energy that I was approaching this with. But you can then make a decision, you know, for yourself as to what your priorities are, because I am not a mom of three. Yeah. I am not somebody who necessarily has a lot of people in her car at all times, but I'm someone who cares about the look, the feel. I want to feel good when I step into my car every day, and that's how I approach the series. And with that, it was a series that accumulated close to 1.5 million views. I gained a lot of followers from that, and I had to be upfront with them. I said, listen, if you came here for car stuff, be warned. Sometimes we go to the beach. Sometimes we go shopping for bags. Sometimes I take you to work with me. And so with that, it really opened up my audience, but also I took care of the audience that I already had. So it was a lot of fun.
Beautiful, and thanks for sharing that story.
Yeah.
Guys, I think we can all relate.
Oh, I did eventually go for an Audi because the series had to come to an end at some point. I can't car shop for 5 years, milk it for all it's worth. But yeah, this was
test driving some amazing cars.
So this was the reveal.
And guys, to those of you who did scan, we'll leave those scan codes up as well. Please feel free to go and watch the whole series and
So I
kind
got-
of really
yeah.
see
So
what
that-
an authentic storytelling series looks like
Yeah.
that is based on a lifestyle profile. And I am going to now jump to the complete opposite, which is the automotive car dealership profiles, which is Tebogo and Kumbi. Tebogo, I'm going to start with you as a storyteller in the world of automotive industry. I remember you saying, Fee, when I grow up, one day I want to be a car. I was like, sweet. I wonder which one. But chat to us a little bit about your style of content and one of your best pieces of content and why it performed well.
Yeah, thank you so much. I do want to become a car when I grow up, actually. It's one of my lifelong goals. But I mean, just a little bit of context, and I'll try my absolute best not to dig too much into time. I'm sure, like a lot of people in this room, I grew up on Top Gear, Fifth Gear, the kind of automotive content that really made you feel something, the stuff that made you, walk up to the TV screen and almost lick it because of how beautiful the Ferrari on the TV was. I promise I didn't lick any TVs. Right? And I've always felt a very deep passion for cars because I think at the end of the day, they're more than just tools to get between point A and point B. You buy a car because it invokes an emotion out of you, right? You buy an SUV because you'd like to feel safe. You buy an AMG because, you like to feel good at the red lights.
Stunt on 'em.
Don't you? And the idea with my content is to try and keep that alive because what social media has done is that it has allowed me to create that kind of content, to invoke that kind of emotion out of people without needing the budget of a 50-person crew and a helicopter and all that sort of stuff. I've got a YouTube video recording as we speak. It's sleek, it's discreet, but the quality remains the same. So what I'm going to show you is a video that I shot recently, right? And I think the reason why some of this content does very, very well is that if you look at what social media is, it's an arena of videos and you're competing for attention. And the only thing stopping someone from moving past your video is just a drop in attention. So you have to capture it within the first 3 seconds. Give them something that they can look forward to. And what I do with that is I use a lot of visual hooks. So here's just a snippet of something that I shot recently.
Now, if you struggle to grow some hair, I have a solution for you, and it comes straight from Italy. The Alfa Romeo Giulia will not give you a full hairline, but it will certainly put some hair on your chest.
Right? But that's just one example of a video. I think giving people a visual hook is a great way to stop the mindless scrolling that they often find themselves in. And an alternative is to tap into, for example, an informative piece. I recently had a Mercedes-AMG E53 on test, and people are quite wary about the fact that it's an electric vehicle. So I thought to myself, how about we prove the practicality of these new energy vehicles by showing it in the real world? And I'll keep it to 30 seconds.
Take Mercedes-AMG E53 and try to see if you can get from the pantry in Johannesburg to the pantry in Hazelwood using electric power alone.
And these are the perks of driving around in a plug-in hybrid. It's like you get 2 cars in one. At the current moment, I'm doing highway speeds in all-electric mode. My petrol range hasn't dropped a bit. In fact, the electric motor in this car produces 120 kilowatts. That's the same as a Mercedes A200. This also gives me a chance to talk about my favorite features in the E-Class. Like, did you know that this car uses augmented reality in its navigation system? It overlays the directions over the real-world environment.
Right? And for the sake of time, I think we should maybe hold it there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tebogo. And I think, round of applause, guys. There's a lot more where that came from, so definitely go give him a follow. It's beautiful, it's high quality, it's storytelling at its finest. Thank you for sharing that. I'm also going to jump over to Kumbi. who I even had to ask him once, I was like, do you have a script? Is there a piece of paper behind you when you're reading all these facts about the car? Like, how do you recall all this information and create the style of content that you do, which is so insightful, so educational, based in Pretoria as well. I know you've got an immense automotive following that come to you specifically for this type of content.
Yeah.
So talk to us about why some of your content performs better than others.
You know, Fee, as everybody on stage has already said, authenticity is essentially the word of the day. And everybody just wants to see you for being authentic. You need to make sure that you are yourself before anything else. And people can always tell if this content is essentially paid for or it's just way too much. You were being forced to do this, right? And what I try to do, a lot of people come to me, obviously, for advice and insights. And I always try and make, within every video that I do take, break it in between sometimes. I mean, I'm a father, and I'm a proud father to a 6-year-old, and there are things that I like. I mean, on this video that I did of the Tyron, literally, something that I found in the backseat that my son was sitting at, of how he could literally just put his phone and watch. It's incredible. And just letting people know that this is what you can expect in a car. Yes, they are going to get the full review from me and everything else, but I just had to show them this. I'm not sure why the audio is not on, but... And
you can easily tilt it, place your phone right on there, then there you go.
And that's it. And for me, that was something, I mean, you look at the same model that Chad had, and obviously he did a different piece of it, and that resonated with his audience. That's being authentic to his platform. Whereas with my audience, they want to see what does the model have? Is it fuel efficient? And obviously right now with a huge battle from the East, what can we essentially, bring onto the table with these products from Germany, etc. So these are just type of things that my content, bring to the table and why it does really, really well. And then you've got the simple things that people love a lot, which I struggle to understand why they, they love it so much. But we've got Have Money or You're Gonna Suffer that people like a lot. I'm struggling to find the video actually right now. Just so much content that, thank you so much to everybody in this room who supports the content actually. We really, really do appreciate it.
I know you've actually worked with a few of the sponsors here as well,
yes,
which is exciting.
100%. And just content like this that, at times break away from being too serious with your audience and just tell people, have money or you're going to suffer. Because if you do not have money, you will suffer. So this is the type of content that I think even with dealers, etc., sure, give the people the facts, pricing, etc., push your marketing speak, but also people just want to see you having fun in a dealer or whatever it is. Just, don't be too hard on yourself. Just be authentic at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I think authenticity, it's thrown around quite a bit. And, some brands even say, like, we need you to be authentic, but here's the script. These are the do's and these are the don'ts, and this is exactly how I'd like you to create this content. So speaking now from the other side, Nicole, I would love to understand your point of view when it comes to sitting on the brand side and briefing creators. How do brands need to approach briefing creators to ensure that it's authentic? Are we supposed to tell them what to do, tell them what not to do? In your opinion, what brings out the best work?
Sure, Fee, I was actually just sitting, enjoying listening, and I forgot that I actually have to be part of this panel. And maybe I get to break the mold a little bit and do something a little bit different because I get to see it from a completely unique perspective. I am a creator in my spare time. I have a lot of fun with it. I'm afforded a lot of luxuries you guys aren't because I have too much fun and self-indulgent fun with my platforms. On the business side, I've always sat at the intersection of commerce, culture, and community. 3 C's. Cars was a logical next step. Thank you. Chad, on my right.
C for Chad.
And what we've been able to do over the years, working with creators, is to have more fun with advertising. And I guess I could show you a whole bunch of very serious pieces. You guys are treating this quite seriously. I can see the business faces are out. The business hats are in the room.
Calm, a bit casual.
A little bit casual. I also wore sneakers to try and fit in. Look at this special edition. It's not my tape. And I guess if we try and unpack how to make creators work for brands, it's such a complex subject. And a lot of agencies, a lot of brands try and mystify it, Fee. I'm sure you've seen it. They try and make it the secret science that you have to decode.
And really all it is humanity and play and personality. I love the words that I saw up on your one holding slide was gorgeous and sexy. And you're talking about emotion and heart. And these are not words that we talk about at an art conference. Like, that is not what we came expecting, right? And yet, I have some stats which I'll share with you. You can actually see my note screen. Welcome to my phone. I won't share all my tabs that are open.
Please don't.
95% of car buyers research vehicles online before buying a dealership, before visiting a dealership. And 60% of car buyers are already using social media during their vehicle buying journey. I mean, I know we know a lot of this and that it's obvious, but when you get your client arriving at a dealership, it's not the first point, it's their last point of contact.
They've already got a short list.
Yes.
They know the selected cars that they're wanting to do a test drive in. They've done the research online before they arrive.
Correct, and I've saved a couple of posts I want to share with you just to have some fun with it. This is the kind of fun that I hope brands are embracing, and we got to have this fun recently with a brand, and this is a bit more high-end production. Fun. Volunteers later, I'm here all day, try the veal. But I also want to break it down a little bit. There are as good results from working in different spaces of social media with creators who are walking into your dealership. And 1 in 5 of your consumers and your customers who walk in are creators. Is your dealer staff trained? Are they offering to take content for them during a test drive? Or are we hate cameras, we don't want cameras in our dealerships?
I'd actually love to unpack that a little bit more, because I think we spoke about this, but the journey of approaching and arriving at a dealer is not the same for everyone. Sibs, do you kind of have a different approach into how you make sure that it's a two-way street, you know? You're not arriving with all these cameras and this gear and lighting and ready to shoot. It can be quite intimidating for a salesman standing there who doesn't necessarily want to be caught on film.
Yes.
So how do you approach it? And then Kumbi, I'd also love to get your point of view.
So I obviously went in cold. I didn't approach any dealerships before I went. I was a customer looking for a car, and I wanted that experience so that it would be an experience that I could share with my audience that is real. I am not being treated a certain way because I have a profile. So I went in, no appointment for most of them, and some dealerships did recognize me from my morning radio show, but they were absolutely lovely. And up front, I do say to them, listen, I am filming the cars, do you mind? They say, not at all. I won't film customers and I won't film staff. Only staff who are really keen to be in the video.
I think in Chad's case, a lot of staff come up to him and ask him to dance to his video with him.
Yeah, and I mean, in Cape Town, which is, you know, where I'm based and where I did my car search, it was a really easy, open process in most of them. They were very happy for me to shoot the cars. Obviously, maybe a different style of content creator would have wanted to incorporate other people, and I think that would then require a different lane of kind of consent and allowing that. But for the dealership owners, I found them to be exceptionally open. I didn't film on my test drive because I didn't want to be out and about filming. The car's not mine. I filmed mostly in the dealership itself, but then it also allowed me to do multiple kind of photos, videos in one spot. So
I love that level of respect where you're walking in, you're asking permission so that, you know, someone isn't caught off guard. That's really important. I think for a lot of dealerships, is there like a blueprint where, you know, you're actually realizing when creators or customers are coming in and they are asking, could they film? If anything, I'm like trying to make you realize that's free marketing right there, guys. Get a ring light and ask them if you can help hold the lighting. You know, never mind, it might be hitting 41 million views. So, I mean, Nicole, from your point of view?
I'm so excited by it because it's such a growing part of the industry. I think it is scheduled to take over as the part of our digital marketing, actually overall marketing spend that generates the most positive ROI this year. And it's already challenging it on a lot of fronts. I'm sure you guys have already experienced that. But if you look at the fun stuff you can do, it also includes things like internal advocacy programs. Like, are your own staff part of this approach? And I love this one, Fee.
Look at it, so beautiful. Hey, what's your top doing here, man? Hey, move your top, move your
That's brilliant. And it's also about having fun. It doesn't have to be so
100%,
serious.
yeah.
On the flip side, Kumbia, I'm going to jump to you because I do recall you also mentioned that you've had not so positive experience walking into a dealership.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that as an automotive content creator, my journey started at a dealership where I would literally get into the dealers, ask them, listen, I want to get some content, but it would be met with so much hostility. No, you're not buying a car. What do you want to do here? But in retrospect, this actually benefits the dealership, right? And even right now, within the place that I am currently, you still get, I walk in with my cameraman or somebody who's helping me film, and they get in first and they start shooting some B-roll, etc. But they still met with, no, don't film, no, don't do that, till I walk in. And it's like, oh no, let's do it. And I'm just like, this needs to be treated with essentially, this is free marketing. This is going to go out there. It's giving us a chance to essentially show what our dealership is all about and how we can essentially bring in more people within the space. I think I've done a lot of work with dealers like NMI Toyota where they are so open to having, people come in. It doesn't matter whether they've got 2 followers or 2 million followers. Just come and create content with the help of our staff. Things like, ring lights that are placed in there for you to just feel. I mean, we're in a digital age right now where social media is the thing. Tag people. Some dealers don't even have social media presence, and I'm just like, how is that, Or when I do collab with some dealers, and it's like, oh no, we're not on Instagram, we're only on Facebook, or we're not on Facebook, we're only on, whatever it is. So I think dealerships needs to start having a lot of social media presence. It goes without saying, let people film in your dealers. Even if it's, a Tebuko getting in there and wanting to shoot content, it doesn't have to drive, but just let them do a walk around. That video can do wonders for dealers.
Thank you, and it's a beautiful comment because it is important to have a social media presence, and it's not that it maybe seem daunting. We're not asking the salesman to run the page. You can get a young, dynamic creative to do that for you, and welcoming creators into the dealership really allows free content, free marketing. I am going to actually jump to Tebogo with a question that I'm sure all of you in this room are probably wondering or asking, okay, but now there's great content, you're dancing on cars, Chad, Sibs, you're making a series, Kumbi, you're talking about the mileage, but how does this actually translate to sales? And I'm sure everyone in this room does want to know, and I mean, when you think about a billboard, Tebogo, have you been asked this question? How does all this amazing, beautiful, well-shot content actually translate into sales?
I think I've gotten that question more times than I would have liked to be honest with you, right? And I think the reason why that question comes up is, and no offense to people who were born before 1990.
Damn!
Woo!
I made the cut.
Social media started off as a way for Smosh and myself to connect, right? But it has since evolved into this massive digital economy, a super highway of information, if you will. And you shouldn't look at it as a plaything where people go and watch silly little videos. I had a conversation with an executive from Google, and the thing that he said to me that struck the most was that their biggest competition isn't another search engine, it's TikTok. Because people are going to social media for fact-finding purposes. We're no longer driving past billboards. I can't even tell you which billboards I drove past today. I have billboard fatigue, and billboards are fixed in place. The thing with social media is that the post goes on my page. And if I do what I do well, I'll continue to grow my audience, and that post continues to live. So don't necessarily care too much about the ROI. Focus on the fact that you're getting exposure and align yourself with the kind of creatives that represent the brand that you represent too. So don't look at it as a plaything, but rather look at it as a way to increase your exposure.
All righty, beautifully said. Thank you, Taboko. Next, I can tell you want to, add a comment there, but we've got some fabulous questions coming in, so I'm going to love you to please wrap us up on the ROI, specifically from a brand point of view and a billboard.
I'll make it as concise as possible in 2 points. Is freedom of creativity for creators here. I don't speak just on behalf of these guys, on the entire creator community. The stuff that works is the stuff that is so real, natural, and unscripted. And when brand goes back to insert their USPs into a creator's video to make sure that they're reaching, like they can justify the marketing spend, is where it dies and where it fails. And what you have with this avenue of marketing is the freedom to have multiple assets, not one billboard, you get one chance. With creators, you get volume of content, and only 20% of it will work. Accept that, embrace it, love it. And that 20% will bring you far more ROI than anything else ever could. And the last point is, Rainmaker has done this with data in our grocery shopping, is turning it into targeting. And what we're able to do now, and with the space that I'm so excited about, is to take real, genuine creativity and lifestyle pieces of content, putting them in front of the right people to be able to generate positive ROI in ways that you can track and measure.
Beautiful. Thank you, Nicole. I think I'm going to add my last comment there. I think what people also don't realize is content creators can drive traffic to your website. And the journey doesn't actually have to stop there. We can actually plug UTMs, for those who don't know what a UTM, it's like a little backpack, if you will, on the back of the piece of content, driving traffic to your site. You now have all your amazing brand ads, which we know that you all put a lot of money behind paid, and it is just a car with the price, was this, now this. You can actually target those ads to the traffic that the creator has sent to your site. So that's already now a warm audience, where they're not just seeing the car, was now, is now. They saw a piece of content, maybe it was Chad dancing, maybe it was Taboko out in the beautiful fields, and then they're seeing this ad, so it's a lot more relatable. So influencer marketing and using creators doesn't need to sit in isolation. It should be seen as one of the many channels that you're utilizing, and it should be incorporated with the different marketing tactics that you have. Use a creator on a billboard and let them scan that and be able to watch a video that enables them to unlock. There's a way that this whole journey doesn't have to be a static post. Okay, we could speak till the cows come home. I'm getting from the front here. So I am going to move over to some questions. And Alan, please definitely give me a signal. I know I've got a few, but give me the end signal. I would love to dive into a couple questions from the audience. So a great one coming in here is, how important is it to reply to the comments that you receive? Who wants to take this? Chad?
Yeah.
I mean, you must get thousands. Do you sleep?
Well, half of the hundreds of thousands is coming from me as well. So what you have to understand is, as much as it's important to have a social media presence, because it's really crucial in this day and age, but the numbers that you see, it's not just numbers, they're actual people. So it's like you're saying, it's just being human, to replying to someone who is engaging on your video. I get a lot of comments maybe in the first hour or two, because my followers know that on the first day of the post, I'll reply back to them and treat everyone.
It's a two-way conversation. That's what engagement means. It's like you're not just putting content out and hoping they will enjoy it.
Yeah, 6.1 million. It's not just it's people who clicked the follow button. It's not just a number, because I know there are creators out there as well that have road to 1 million, but it's actual people.
Yeah.
So it's all about building a community, and I think with dealerships as well, getting yourself, not necessarily shoving facts down the throat and all of that, but how I started off was following trends. Dealership could open a social media page, follow a corny trend, blows off, starts a little community, and then you have customers who are loyal.
And I'm actually going to jump on that as well and reframe the question. How important, Kumbi, is it for dealerships to also get involved in the comments section?
Extremely vital, Fee. I've done quite a lot of work with various dealers where I've promoted some of the products, and I'll go to things of Kinto products or some cherry work that I've done as well, and where they actually miss a lot of people in those comments, be it my post or the post that they've posted on their end, and they are just not replying to the comments. And that's where a lot of business is lost actually from people. I've got comments here, can I rent it for Uber? What happens if I drive more than a certain mileage a month? And these are comments that just went unresponded to. And essentially what you find happening there is that the customer ends up saying, you know what, this is not real, let me go somewhere else. And that's unfortunate that happens. And replying to comments is very, very important. From the moment that you get that comment, reply to it.
Yeah.
And as a creator, there's only so much you can do in terms of replying.
And it's called community management for a reason. You can't just have an Instagram page as a dealership and just be pushing out content. Someone's got to actively be managing it. And comments are a great way to actually get recognized and noticed. Imagine commenting there at Kumbi, thanks. We've actually currently got a new promotion on this week only. Get in. So it would translate that comment into a potential sale.
Correct.
And also,
It's also.
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Chad.
You sure? No, you go ahead.
No, I wanted to add. I mean,
I'll add off to
selfishly,
you.
I mean, I use comments for content. Like the amount of incredible ideas that come from the community itself, the questions, the suggestions. So on top of obviously replying and being very present within the comment section, using that as a springboard to, start a new series that clearly your community is desperate for because they are demanding it in your comment section. So use that too as a form of content farming and curating, and it can set you up for a really good run of making content that your community actually wants to watch.
I'm going to keep you there because I've got a question directed at you, and that is, did the dealerships embrace your video approach?
They did. I mean, so many DM'd me when I was on my journey, and I was quite deliberate in kind of not connecting with them, as an influencer and content creator, because I wanted to really experience this process as a customer, as my community would experience it. And I think in doing that,
favoritism. You don't want them there.
Exactly. Oh, the bubbly is coming out. 15% discount, which would have been nice. But no, I'm joking. But I really just was someone who was genuinely looking for a car and wanting to experience this process in a way that my community would. And so I loved getting the invitations, and those were really nice. But for me, when I was there, when I was kind of just flying in cold without any warning into the dealerships, I was then able to experience them as they are. And in that way, I was able to do my videos and my vlogs in a way that was real. And this is the experience you will get when you go here and experience this brand. It was generally really good. In another, world where I had partnered with a dealership, I think it's also very, you need to kind of be very upfront with your audience about that, because people are very smart. They don't want ads shoved down their throats. They want to see personality. They want to gain information. They want to learn things. And you need to be very open about kind of being honest as with regards to what you're doing. So in that way, I'm not saying partnering with a dealership would not have worked. We would have just had to look at the approach of that
differently,
so that it can actually kind of,
maybe
reap
from
results.
After this conference, you might be actively partnering with a dealership.
I mean, Audi did get a hold of me, full disclosure, but it was after they realized that I, bought the car from them, and they were now wanting to partner with me as a way of, how am I experiencing it, and
the journey
thereafter, which then makes sense. And for my audience to also then know up front that, yes, I'm partnering with Audi on this, but I bought my car. Like, just up front, so that it doesn't feel like that whole journey was paid for, and I wasn't, sharing that, and it was a genuine journey. But it's not to say those opportunities aren't possible down the line as well.
I mean, Fee, you even are part of the influencer marketing committee for the IAB. We both serve on the IAB committee. And one of the big projects this year is disclosure of advertising.
Absolutely.
And it's not just best practice in the industry, it's actually just humanity. People want to know, they want to feel like they're respected enough when you give them and serve them an ad, that it's being told, we gave this person a car, or we paid them to talk about this.
And your followers appreciate it, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, they also know you well enough to know that, okay, you were paid to wear that, or say that. And guys, I mean, these questions are flooding in, and I feel like we might have to do a second session another day, Alan. But I just want to say a really big thank you to each and every one of you sitting on stage for your vulnerability and also openness to also sharing your phones live in front of 600 people. It really was insightful. I hope that everyone in the audience managed to see influencer marketing through a different lens, or maybe see it from a different perspective, seeing the opportunity that dealerships could have now in a different approach with working with creators and embracing it as best as you can. Okay? Otherwise, thank you very much, guys. We're very grateful.
Thank you.
Well done, guys.